Hi everyone, it's Donna with 3am Grace Designs. I'm going to do an overview on our assembly for our Kawaii Cuddlers. We receive questions often about our techniques and our stuffing and the method that we use to put our two panels together. So the example I'm using today is for our goat Kawaii Cuddler, and depending on when you watch this video, it may or may not be released yet. As of right now, of filming, it has not been released. This was a special request for a little boy named Ryan who's in the hospital, and he loves goats. So Ryan, we're praying for you and we love you, and we're so excited to be a part of bringing a goat into your sweet little arms. So let's begin. So before I begin assembling my two panels together, I take my front panel and I attach everything on it beforehand. So my eyes are in and they're locked, and any pieces that go on front of it, whether it be the mermaid, the unicorn, any Kawaii Cuddler in our line of cuddlers, I always do all of my front panel embellishments first. So this guy has, I use puff paint, but regardless if you use puff paint or if you embroider the pieces on, the details on, I do all that ahead of time. And then my back piece, we get questions often if we decorate our back pieces. I personally don't, but there's nothing wrong if you want to do both sides. That's just a personal preference. I would just do those prior to assembling your two panels together. So when I start, I always fasten off and weave in all my ends. I know some people like to leave their tail and do it with their tail. I personally like to start fresh each time. So when I begin assembling, I just pick any point on the cuddler. Different cuddlers make sense to start in different places. For the sake of the video, I want to be able to show you the color changes when I go to the horns. So I started right here on the ear. So all I've done is slip stitched onto my hook, and I've gone through both layers. And then, like our pattern state, I'm just going to single crochet these two pieces together. Once I'm a few stitches in, I'll go back and tighten up that beginning tail. This is basically what we do around the whole cuddler. You're just single crocheting through both pieces with your stitches lined up. If you are using puff paint for your embellishments, just make sure you've let that dry overnight. I actually did that yesterday evening so it would have time to dry. Every now and then I make sure that I'm still lined up correctly. And my horns or whatever my extra pieces are don't turn out wonky. Okay, so now I'm getting on towards my horns here. So I'm going to actually change colors to that toasted almond because I want my edging to match. So I'm going to do one more stitch right here. The first part of the stitch, looks like I caught. There you go. So I did my yarn over, and then I'm going to actually snip this ahead of time. Pull that tight. And my next color is the Toasted Almond. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this stitch with my Toasted Almond. Now I pause right here and I tie these together. And then now with these two pieces, I'm going to crochet them, single crochet them together to form my horns. My air conditioner's coming on, hopefully it's not too noisy. But I'm in California and we're not even to summer yet, but it's 100 degrees here today, so I love you, but it can't be hot. It makes me crabby. So when I personally get to the edge here, or to a point, I usually do 2 single crochets in the point. And then it helps get around that corner piece there. I'm just going to go down the side of the horn. And then when I get to the white, I'm going to color change again, the same way I did when I started the horn. Hold all that together and make sure it's still lining up right. So this piece, the way the horns are sewed on, this last one, I'm actually going through the white, through this white, and through this last stitch right here on the horn to make sure that those are all on there securely. And because I forgot to color change, I'm going to do it right here. I'm going to cheat. So I'm going to clip off, pull out my Toasted Almond, and then grab my white again, yarn over. And then I like to pause and tie this on. In our patterns, we say to work in a counterclockwise direction so that your stitches face forward. So that's what I'm doing. I started on this side and I'm going counterclockwise. And that way the front of our stitches here are shown. If we did it the other way, this is what we would see on the front, and you get that bump along the ends of the rows. And we just think it looks prettier this way. It looks more finished. I'm going to go ahead and finish this off camera so that I don't bore you with my stitching, and I'll come back when I'm ready to show you the stuffing. Okay, so I've single crocheted from where I started, and I've done my color changes around my first horn, color change back to white, color change and went over my horn, and then I've color changed to white and gone here and paused. And the reason I pause is when I have features of a cuddler that stick out like this that need stuffing, I like to do that before I get all the way to the bottom and I'm trying to stuff it all at once. So I always stop and add stuffing to these individual pieces here. So for me, less is more when it comes to this. I know some of you are used to traditional amigurumi, and those you stuff pretty thick. But with cuddlers, you kind of want them to still lay flat. So there's my first horn. And then in order to get to the tip, I'm using chopsticks. To be honest, I use whatever I have handy. I have a Tunisian crochet hook that I will use sometimes. But because this is real life, I will share with you that my son has probably made that into a sword somewhere because I can't find it. It's probably a Star Wars lightsaber of some kind in a fort somewhere. So there's my first horn. And it's not, see, it's not bulging. And then I will do my second horn. And same thing, these are free chopsticks from Panda Express that we didn't use last time. And I've stuffed my second horn. And again, he's full, but he's not bulging. Like, he's not to where he's sticking out like that. It's just enough. And I'm going to do the same here with this ear, and then I will single crochet around to here and come back and show you how I finish off. Okay, so before I get completely to the end here, I want to fill in the little goat head. So I'm going to pull this out with some slack. I'm going to take my stuffing. So my ear is already stuffed to about here and my horns, so I just gently go to that point. So I push to the edge, and then I flatten. So now I need to go over here to this side. I'm pushing to the edge, pushing to the horns, and then I'm flattening. I want to make sure that my edging is pointing in the right direction. So again, he's not bulging. Like, he's a decent size, but he's not coming out like a full sphere. And I mean, you're welcome to do that if you want to. Everybody's different and we all have a different preference. This is just how we do it. So once it has that shape that I want, I'm just go make sure it's even. I don't want them to be lumpy and bumpy. Then I'll continue to single crochet around here, and I'll add more stuffing when I get to about right here. can tell from this side he has some slack right here. I want some more. A toasted almond is causing trouble. So I'm going to go in and deliberately push that over to where he wasn't as full. And then I'm on the home stretch here, and this is the last open part here on the ear. So I try and remain mindful of how much I have left, how much my fingers will be able to fit through there to get that last bit of stuffing in. So I'm probably going to stop right about here. And again, the whole time I am mushing him and flattening him. And I push the stuffing across this line where his ears are so that it's not floppy. And then when I have just this little bit left right here, I'm going to add some extra stuffing right there. Okay, so I'm adding, it's probably too much, the last bit here to the goat ear. That's pretty good. That's even with my other one. Fasten him off. Just weave that in. I go back and forth a couple times just to make sure it's in there securely. Cut that off. There you go. So that's how we do our Kawaii Cuddler assembly. Again, you're free to do it however you'd like. That's just the method we use. Again, he's not super stuffed. He's not a sphere. There you go. Michaeline and I would just like to thank you. We never thought when we started this journey that we'd be where we are right now. We have over 50 Kawaii Cuddlers and no sign of slowing down or your interest waning. So we appreciate you coming back each week. And as long as you guys are still showing the love, we will still keep creating. All right, you guys have a good day, and I hope that was helpful. If you have any other questions, you can always reach out to us at support@3mgracedesigns.com. Thank you.